Have you ever noticed that strangers tell you their life story? 10 minutes after meeting you, they are telling you their childhood. The coworker vents to you every single morning. The friend who only calls when her world is on fire. Even the barista somehow tells you about her divorce. And when it is finally over, they always say the same thing. You are just so easy to talk to. But tonight, staring at the ceiling, you wonder something else. Who exactly is supposed to listen to you? Psychology has an answer, and it is not a coincidence. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why they pick you. And the final reason will change how you see every friendship you have. Because being everyone's therapist started long before you noticed. Psychologists have a name for what you are about to see. But first, go back to that kitchen table for a second. Somebody there needed managing. Somebody small volunteered. Not because anyone asked, because the room felt safer when she helped. A child who reads moods learns to trade comfort for calm. Psychologists call it parentification, the child turned caretaker. Emotional jobs handed out early tend to become permanent positions. Little listeners grow up into everyone's favorite listening ear. That is the first reason. You were trained before you could object. But training only explains where the pattern started. It does not explain why strangers choose you in crowded rooms. Think about what the adults said about that little girl. So mature for her age, so easy, never any trouble. Nobody praises a 7-year-old for having needs. They praise her for having none. At school, she was the one teachers sat the difficult kids beside. Calm children make useful furniture. Ask any classroom. At sleepovers, she was the one the other girls cried to. By 12, she could read a room faster than a report card. That is not a personality. That is survival with good manners. Survival skills never retire. They just change offices. Here is what makes this worth hearing twice. The kids who did this were the most perceptive people in the room. You did not fail to learn boundaries. You aced a different test. The test just never ended. Thread 1. The listener was made, not born. But a beginning is not a reason to stay. Which brings us to the part happening in your life right now. Here is the second reason, and it lives on your face. Some nervous systems broadcast a signal. Mine will hold yours. You listen with your whole body. People feel it instantly. You never interrupt. You never flinch. You never look away. So people hand you their heaviest things. You seem built for it. At the party you came to enjoy, you became the quiet room. Psychologists call the cost emotional labor, real work, unpaid, unscheduled, and exhausting by the end of the night. And here is the detail that should stop you cold. Nobody ever asks how the listener is doing. Run the experiment this week if you doubt it. Sit anywhere public and count who gets approached. It will be you. Taxi drivers tell you about their marriages. Ants you see once a year skip the small talk entirely. Even the group chat has a private version just for you. None of these people compared notes. So what are they reading? They are reading your nervous system, and it reads safe. The name is co-regulation. Calm bodies calm others. Sitting near you literally lowers people's heart rates. That is a gift. Now here is the invoice nobody shows you. Regulating a room costs the regulator. You know the feeling, the social hangover nobody has a name for. Therapists train for years to do what you do on instinct. The headache after the party you spent managing everyone's comfort. The strange grief after a call where you performed fine for an hour. And now the midnight call. You know the one. You answer on the second ring. You always answer on the second ring. 2 hours of holding someone else's storm at arm's length. She feels lighter after. You hear it in her voice. You lie back down carrying everything she put down. The most attuned person in the room always pays the room's bill. Sound familiar yet? Because there is one more reason, and it is the one that stings. If any of this is landing, subscribe, because reason 3 took me longest to accept. It is not about why they need you. It is about why they stay. Reason 3, they never chose you, just the role. The role listens. The role absorbs. It never sends the bill. And a role like that trains everyone around it too. They learned you always answer, so they stopped asking if they could. Worse, the role rewards you just often enough to keep you. The name, intermittent reinforcement. Casinos run on it. A thank you every 10th time keeps a kind heart playing forever. So the friendship stays one-sided by design, not by accident. Count the questions in your last 10 conversations. I will wait. How many were about you? That silence you just felt is the answer. Try to remember the last time the roles reversed. The night you tried to be the one who needed holding. Anyway, she said, wait till you hear what happened to me. You laughed it off. You always laugh it off. And the room never even felt the temperature drop. Here is the test that tells you everything. Your birthday. You remember everyone's. Down to the group chat countdowns. Yours gets scattered same-day texts. Half start with sorry. You tell yourself people are busy, and people are busy, but the listener's birthday is the audit, and the books never balance. So why do you keep the account open? Because every 10th deposit, the machine pays out warm. A voice memo that says you saved my life tonight. And warmth like that is real. That is what makes the trap honest. You are not foolish for staying. You are generous in a rigged room. Keep the warmth. Question the exchange rate. Generosity without a floor becomes a resource. And the well never once refused. So nobody ever asked if it was empty. Which is exactly where this stops being a diagnosis and becomes a door. Now here is the part nobody tells the listeners. None of this happened because something is wrong with you. It happened because a small person once kept a whole room safe, and she never got told she could stop. So this is me telling you, you can stop. Caring about people does not require disappearing into them. You are allowed to answer later, or gently, not at all. You are allowed to say, I do not have room today. Real friends will survive the word no, the role will not. And the people worth keeping will finally get to meet you. Not the listener, not the fixer, just you. Awareness is the whole first step, and you just finished it. The wiring is not a life sentence. Boundaries are not walls, they are load-bearing beams. If someone specific came to mind tonight, send them this. They will never ask for it. That is exactly why it matters. You are not broken. You are soft-wired. And wiring can change. I will see you in the next one.